What's up guys, it's Colin here with Up North Outdoors, and this is my 1996 F250 12 valve Cummins swapped. Right now I'm working on making it rust free and painting it. Hopefully we'll be having it painted by the summer. I've got fenders, replacement fenders for my rusted fenders, and a tailgate that should be coming here Monday that are coming from Texas. They are stock parts or original parts, I guess you could say. They're not remanufactured ones. They're the real thick steel fenders and tailgate that I'm getting shipped up here that was a little expensive. And I've got a new to me rust-free bed or box that I found for the truck already swapped on here. Well, it's just sitting on here. I'm gonna take it back off to need some body work done and for paint. And today in the mail I just got cab corners from LMC truck, about $100 for the set. And what I wanted to do in today's video, since I haven't been able to do a ton of truck work right now because I'm waiting on parts. Once Monday hits, we're gonna be going hard on the truck videos, but I've got a few days here of not really much to do. And this is a video that you guys have been asking for quite a while, that I get comments about all the time, and that was, how much did it cost to do my Cummins swap? So in today's video, I'm gonna be going online and going through and trying to find all the parts and every single thing that I purchased, make a full list of how much it cost for me to do my Cummins swap on my 96 F250. So then those of you that are interested in doing it, then you can kind of have a cash idea, like just a rough amount on how much it would cost for you to do the swap yourself. Obviously these numbers would vary for you depending on how much you can get the Cummins motor for, how much work your truck needs, what truck that you're gonna be doing the swap into. Like this used to be a 351 gasser, so I needed to get a new transmission and a motor. If you're swapping it from a 7.3, you'll probably already have a transmission that can handle the Cummins. This is a gas truck, 250, so I did the Dana 60 swap in the front because the Cummins wouldn't really be able to handle, the TTB wouldn't be able to handle a Cummins, but I already did the Dana 60 swap before the Cummins swap, but I'll add in those numbers anyway, because if you have a gas truck you're going to be swapping your Cummins into, I definitely recommend doing the Dana 60 swap anyway, so I will price that in as well. Transmission I am running is the Ford ZF5 transmission. It's just from a 7.3 diesel of this same year basically. I've also got glow shift gauges up here. I'm just gonna show you guys kind of everything that I've got done on the truck right now, and then we'll be going back into my office and then we'll be sitting down and crunching numbers. But yeah, I got glow shift gauges up there, and transmission. I've also got some gauges here too. That's about everything in the interior that's really been changed, not much. And then just to prove to you guys, I do have a 12 valve Cummins in here if you guys are a new viewer. If you guys are subscribers or returning viewers, obviously you know it's a 12 valve Cummins, and it is from a second gen 12 valve, so it does have the P pump, which in my opinion and most people's opinions is the better 12 valve. You could also swap a 12 valve with the VE pump in here as well, or you could also do a 24 valve people have done, and people have done common rails and 6.7s as well. The sky's kind of the limit on what you want to swap, but this particular video will be based on a 12 valve, particularly the second gen with the P pump. It also got the Dodge intercooler in it, as well as Dodge radiator that we fabbed in as well. And yeah, that's about it, guys. And then it's a Dana 60. This Dana 60 is actually from an 80s Ford. It is the Kingpin model. In my opinion, the Kingpins are a little bit stronger, more reliable than the ball joints, but either way, you really can't go wrong with the Dana 60, whether it's Kingpins or ball joints. And then a lot of people now are even starting to do, for Dana 60 swaps, are doing the 2000s Super Duty swaps because they have a kit for that now. When I did my Dana 60 swap, they didn't really have kits for the Super Duty swap yet, so that's why I went with the 80s. If I was doing it again, I probably would do the Super Duty swap, because then you can do Super Duty springs in the front and make your ride a heck of a lot smoother. I've also got, for new people that don't know, I'll just real quick go through everything else that I have on this truck. I have 40-inch tires, 40 by 15.5, and I have 20 by 14-inch wheels, which will be being changed once I paint my truck in the future. I've got, it's about 4 to 6-inch springs in the front with the 5-inch drop reverse shackle, giving it about 10 inches of lift. And then in the rear is just blocks for now. Just blocks, which are made safe with these custom made pivoting lift bars. I know. I do need to do springs in the rear, and that will come eventually, but for now the blocks work, and they're made pretty safe with those custom lift bars that we built, as well as the blocks are the ones that have the holes for the U-bolts to go through the blocks as well, so the blocks really don't have any room to slip out. And I have beat the crap out of this thing off-road, and so if those blocks were ever gonna slip out, they would have done it with the crap I've done with this thing off-road in the past. They definitely would have failed. When I did my swap, I also had the whole cab, the box, everything. I had the whole body off just down to the frame, and it doesn't kind of look like it right now because it's pretty dirty, but I did sandblast and paint the entire chassis on this truck as well. And then I've got a 5-inch straight pipe for exhaust to an axle dump that doesn't have a tip right now. I've had a trash can on there before and 55-gallon drum. Once I paint, I'll buy a real tip for it. Their Fuel Mavericks are the wheels, and then the tires are trail graps. I've got a custom roll bar that will be going in the bed after I paint. The bumper is custom made, grill is custom made, and Anzo headlights in the front. And I think that is about it. And man, it is cold out. If any of you guys are interested in wanting to know how I've made my truck go from stock to that, I will leave a link in the description to a video I made not too long ago that basically I spliced in chunks from all the videos for basically the last 5 years I've been building this truck, 6 years almost that I've been building this truck, going from basically what I did from stock to what it is now. So if you guys are interested in that, I'm not going to go into full detail in this video because I want to really focus on the motor swap itself. Just click that link in the below and it should have all the info. You can also leave a comment, ask me any questions that you want, and I try to get back to all the questions. Alright guys, I was getting cold. So we're at my computer now and we are going to run all those numbers. First off, we got the motor, which is, like I said, 12 valve Cummins P pump. It had 190,000 miles on it when I bought it, and I paid 2,500 bucks for it. And that included, which I will add on here, that included the intercooler, the radiator, and then all the components on the motor. Nothing was pulled off the motor. It had the alternator, turbo, all that good stuff. Now, so the motor is one of those parts that can really vary for you. It depends on how far you're willing to travel, what kind of deals you got in your area, where you live. Like up here in northern Minnesota, I had to go all the way to Wisconsin to even get this motor because that was the only one for sale, basically, even in my area. And that's what they go for here, is the price. I know down south, some of you guys can find one for half that price, 1,500 bucks, even $1,000 sometimes. And then also depending on what motor you're going with, a lot of times the 12 valve with the VE pump are a lot cheaper than the 12 valves with the P pump as well, so you gotta keep that in mind too. Next was I purchased a parts truck that had the ZF5 transmission in it, and I picked that up for 600 bucks. Now I just went the parts truck way because it's pretty hard to find just a ZF5 transmission that's selling by itself, and then a lot of times they want about that much money for it anyway. And this truck I picked up actually had a Dana 60 under it. I don't think the person realized what he had. So it had a Dana 60 under it, which in itself is worth $1,000. So I made my money back on it. I mean, I could have. I didn't sell the Dana 60. I put it under the 6.9, but you know what I mean. And then I liked having the parts truck because then it had the shifter knob, and I was able to take the clutch pedal out of it because my truck was originally an automatic, so I was able to take the pedals out of it and like just all the parts that I needed from the parts truck. So that's why I ended up spending 600 bucks and getting a full parts truck. Now, I ordered a lot of my parts off of DCS, and they had pretty quality stuff, which I would recommend for Cummins conversions. So here is the adapter plate that I purchased. It was $770, I guess. Like, I mean, I don't know, their prices might vary too, but that does seem about right. And that's for a 12 valve or 20 valve or 24 valve to butt up to a ZF5 that was from a 7.3, which was what I had. Which I will put a link below to Diesel Conversion Specialist to their website. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but just so you guys can know how to get here and see where the parts that I got are coming from. So then I got a South Bend clutch and flywheel, and that looks like it's about 750 bucks. And again, these prices obviously vary depending on what companies you go with and what kind of horsepower rating you want or torque rating you want for the clutches and all that stuff. Also adapter plates. I know some people that have machine shops have made their own adapter plates, and there are some people on some Facebook pages and stuff that make them and sell them that you can save a little bit of money here and there with some of these parts depending on what route you're wanting to go. Now motor mounts are $325. Now I am gonna add the Dana 60 on there as well because my truck was an F250, and if I still did have the TTB when I did the swap, I would have had to swap a Dana 60 into it anyway, so I am gonna add that price on there. I did get my Dana 60 for 800 bucks, but then I ended up having to completely rebuild it, so I'm just gonna say about 1,200 bucks for the Dana 60, including buying linkage and all that stuff that I had to do as well. Intercooler piping, I'm just gonna say about 100 bucks because I ordered some intercooler pipes from Amazon and made it myself. Fabbed it all up myself, which, I don't know. It is the cheaper route, which I probably will upgrade eventually, but just to get it up and going, it works fine. Now I am adding $500 here just for the little things. Like I remember I had to replace the lift pump, fluids, filters, the hoses, the lines, all that stuff. I know I have at least $500 if not more in just all of the little things that had to be purchased and fixed while doing this swap. So I'm gonna be pretty generous and just say about 500 bucks, but I'm pretty sure it's probably even a little higher than that. Now I did do a lot more to my truck when I did this swap, like sandblasting and painting the chassis and all that good stuff, but I'm not going to include that into the price on here because obviously that wasn't something that needed to be done to swap the Cummins motor into the Ford. I'm going to tally these numbers up. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting something, and I'll probably end up leaving it in the comments because I'll remember when I'm editing or something like that, or you guys will remember and remind me. So I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but I think I really got the basics. We've got 12 valve Cummins motor, 2,500 bucks with the intercooler and radiator. Parts truck with the transmission, 600 bucks. The adapter plate, about $770. The clutch and flywheel, 750 bucks. Motor mounts, 325. Dana 60, 1,200. Intercooler piping, 100. 500 for miscellaneous stuff, and then that's not including shipping either, which I'm not going to put on there, but you gotta remember it's not the cheapest to ship this stuff either. And like picking up the motor and the parts truck too. I mean, picking up the motor, we drove 6 hours to go get that, and then 6 hours back, and then we pulled the trailer to get the parts truck, about 2.5, 3 hours to get it, and then 2.5, 3 hours back as well. And I'm not including that, but you gotta remember time to go pick up these things too, because chances are you're not gonna have a 12 valve Cummins that's in your same town within 30 minutes, and same with the transmission or parts truck that has a transmission. You're probably going to have to be willing to travel or willing to pay shipping to get these things. So you also kind of got to add that in as well. And then also, of course, I'm not adding labor either. I mean, my grandpa and I had hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of time and labor in doing this whole thing too. So you really got to remember how much you value your time as well, or how much you're willing to pay for a shop to do it. $6,744. Okay, so I'm sure there's some of you out there that just saw that number that are thinking about doing this swap yourselves and are kind of having a little bit of a panic attack and not feeling too happy. Now, just hear me out. You got to remember, my truck was an F250, so that means it did not have the Dana 60 under the front. It had the twin traction beam axle, which are garbage and needs to be swapped if you're going to put a heavier motor. If you have an F350 though that you're wanting to do the swap on, your F350 will already have the Dana 60, so that's already, boom, around $1,000, $1,200 that you're gonna save not having to do that Dana 60 swap. All right, so you can take that off, and then if you do have an F350 that you're doing the swap, because mine was an F250, gas motor, weaker transmission. If you have an F350, specifically like a 7.3, even like an IDI or something, that you're gonna be doing the Cummins swap with, you are gonna be able to use or keep your transmission that you have. You're not gonna have to go find and buy a transmission or a parts truck that has one like I did. You're gonna be able to use your transmission, whether it's an automatic or a manual. You can use that transmission that you have the 7.3 bolted to. So keep that in mind as well, because that's also about, for me, like that'd be another $600 you'd be saving, not going out and buying. So that's between even that Dana 60 and the tranny, that's like $2,000 right there that you can knock off of this total. So, and then also you can, I'm sure you guys can find better deals than what I found for my Cummins. I was kind of in a hurry to get it, so I ended up spending a little more money than what I probably could have found a deal and found a Cummins. If I was willing to spend the time and willing to travel farther, I probably could have found a motor for a little bit cheaper. And also, you don't necessarily even need to go the Ford transmission route like I did. You can, if you're willing to do a lot more fabrication work, there's people that have done the Dodge transmissions as well. I know the autos, I wouldn't bother doing a Dodge auto transmission because they're garbage, but you could do one of their 5 speeds or 6 speeds and get away with that as well. And also, people have used the ZF6 from the Fords, the newer ones. They make adapter plates that bolt up to the 12 valve or the 24, etc., etc. So you could even, if you want to spend a little more money, swap the ZF6 under it too. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of different things that can change and vary the price. But if you are going to be doing this swap on an F250 that has a gas motor, this is about roughly how much it's going to run you, about $6,750, around there, if you're looking at doing a Cummins swap on a gas truck and you don't have any of these parts laying around or on hand. So yeah, I know this video is probably pretty boring for those of you that weren't interested in the Cummins swap at all, but I know there was enough of you out there that were wanting to know these numbers and all the parts that went into it. And I'm still waiting on parts that should be coming Monday, so I haven't really had much to do anyway video wise. So I figured, hey, why not make this video now? I know a lot of you guys have been wanting it. Like I said, parts coming Monday, so early next week, Monday, Tuesday, or probably not Monday, more like Tuesday, Wednesday-ish, you can expect a video on the Cummins, working on making it even more rust-free. Now, if you guys have been spending a lot of time inside, bored out of your mind on lockdown basically, go ahead and give my Twitch a follow. It is right here, Up North Indoors, twitch.tv/upnorthindoors. I will leave a link in the description for that as well. Come hang out, talk to me, pop me a follow. You can ask me questions, tell me about your builds that you guys are working on during this quarantine, or just literally hang out, watch us have some fun. All right, I'll stop talking you guys' ear off. If you are new to the channel though, click that sub button, please. And hit this like button if you enjoyed the video. And this has been Colin here with Up North Outdoors. God bless, guys, and I will see you in the next one.
This is a really bad idea.
Soft soul ride, listed for sale, 10 years old, and it looked like hell. All my friends said don't, I replied, oh Lord, it's an F-150 on Bedford. It stores my tools, can haul a load, but it drinks up gas, and now I'm broke. I jacked it up, put on lifted off-road tires with B-locks on it. It's got a little attitude, ain't it grand? It does the mud as well as the sand, it defines me who I am. It's more than practical, it's a statement if you ever think I'll sell it, good luck. American made, and it's my truck. Before I was just another guy, look at me now, way up high. Might look like I have it just for show, cause it'll dust up any dirt road. I jacked it up, put on lifted off-road tires with B-locks on it. It's got a little attitude. as the sand. It defines me who I am. It's more than practical, it's a statement. If you ever think I'll send it, good luck. American made, and it's my truck. Drinks up gas and now I'm broke. Well, I jacked it up, put on lift kit, off-road tires and bead locks on.